are the biggest challenges of India's explosive urbanization and what are the solutions? For the first time, a granular analysis with recommendations has been brought forth by the annual survey of India's city system survey put together by Janagraha. And of course, I have with me two esteemed guests, Mr. Subramaniam, who's the CEO of Niti Aayog, and they've done a lot of deep diving also and much work on India's urbanization. So I'm going to come this time to you, sir. We're continuing our conversation. Let's look at planning and people's role. So now these are the two things that I'd like us to focus on. Your own report, Mr. Subramaniam, highlighted that not even one planner is available per city or town in state and country planning departments. We are a country of 1.4 billion people. So I'm just trying to understand, what is your view on getting spatial plans, master plans ready for every city, and how much should people participate in those?
So let me say, I think what all is missing or what all needs to be done has been brought out brilliantly in the ASICS report. They've identified these 10 instruments of change, and in a way, those 10 encompass broadly all the areas that need to be attended to, which includes spatial plan and also lack of cadres of people who need to do the spatial planning, and of course, the powers that need to be delegated, mayors. So all the things are done. The bigger point actually, and that's important, is how do you navigate the system so that you get these things in place? You're right, we are extremely understaffed, but the understaffing is actually a symptom of a larger problem, which is that cities were not considered important enough. So I think the way to tackle it is, the way politicians do, sell a dream, sell a vision. And I think that's what politicians are much better than bureaucrats or anybody else is. And once you sell the dream and a vision, you create an atmosphere of positivity. And the atmosphere of positivity will then enable people to buy in. And then you get all that you want. The second point, which we often miss is, and it comes out in the report somewhere, that bulk of urban India is not yet built. I mean, there's some numbers for 2030 that 70% of the urban stock, be it commercial or residential in urban areas, is not yet built. That's a good thing, because it's good in a way, because you can put the right things in place so you get the right kind of structures or right kind of, plans in place to get these things. And if you look at 2047, probably 95% of what is needed in 2047 is still not built. So in that sense, you are at a very good point. So, instead of looking at the past and crying over things, look at the future and say 90% doesn't exist. So can we get it done the right way?
You've just left me so excited now about our next phase of urbanization that, so much of India is still to be built and we can get it right. Shrikant, let's end on that very, very hopeful note. What can we get right going forward and what we should get right going forward?
So I do agree with Mr. Subramaniam that political leadership of the cause is what will do the trick for us. The diagnosis is fine. Even for us as civil society, our focus at Janagraha is a lot more on the solution end of the conversation. And for that, we need political leadership. And we are seeing a remarkable change in the last 10 years, both at the union level and at the state levels, across political party lines, across types of states, where state chief ministers are recognizing that they need to embrace their own urban future far more willingly and with greater alacrity than what they may have done in the past. And this is part of the natural progression of the country as we climb faster rates of urbanization.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me today. The recommendations have been flashed, but I think the big takeaway is dream big. We have the chance to make our cities extremely robust economic entities, and everyone, if they start feeling positive and proud, we can get it right. Well, let's end on that very hopeful note that the attention has shifted to India's cities, and states are doing it. Centre has been doing it for the entire last 9.5 years. Shrikant Viswanathan and Mr. Subramaniam, thank you very much for joining us and detailing some of the big solutions that can be brought forth to make our cities robust. This is Manisha Natarajan signing off till I see you again next week. Goodbye.